All right, so you win. Congratulations. Your phone's flying off the hook. You got people like
Thank
me.
you.
Don't forget me. Don't forget me. You're president of the United States. The speaker, you call in the Speaker of the House, whoever he or she is at that time. You bring in with them the head of the Senate. What message do you think you could deliver to get us past opposition as a position, past the gridlock that we are in now? What do you think you could say and do over time that we haven't seen in the last few administrations?
Well, Chris, you know, I've gone through this before as being governor of New Jersey for 8 years with a Democratic legislature of the other party. So I start even before I take the oath of office, like I did when I was governor. I start to meet with the leaders of the Congress before I'm sworn in and start to talk to them about what do they care about the most? What's on their agenda items, and listen to them. Spend time listening to them and letting them know one very simple message before I even get in, that our job is to get things done for the American people, and not small things, but big things, consequential things. And that's the kind of presidency I want to have. So when we get there on the first day and we have a meeting on that first day or second day with the leaders of the Congress, when I'm now the president, I say to them, look, first we got to deal with the budget, because all of this overspending that we've done over time has caused the inflation that has ravaged this country over the last number of years and is bankrupting our kids and our grandkids. So first, we got to sit down and talk about the budget, areas where we can cut spending back. I did this when I was governor of New Jersey. We had an $11 billion deficit on a $29 billion budget when I got in. We cut 836 individual programs and brought the budget into balance without raising taxes. Second, I'm going to sign an executive order to send National Guard down to the border to interdict fentanyl. At the bottom line here, Chris, is that we had 110,000 overdose deaths in this country last year. It's something that has been a huge concern of mine for all the years I've been in public office, both as a prosecutor and as the governor. And what I want to do is to begin to aggressively interdict that fentanyl at the border, and at the same time, direct the Secretary of Health and Human Services to come up with a program to greatly expand treatment availability for those who have the disease of drug addiction in our country, so that people can start being treated and start getting a second chance in their life.
All right, two quick follows. First one, New Jersey, real state, no disrespect. It ain't D.C. You have that conversation.
Right.
The head of your party, and whatever side they're on, whether the Speaker of their House or the head of the Senate, you know, will likely be divided if the American people, you know, the only control they have is balance to keep the two fighting with each other so they don't get overrun by either. And he or she says to you, hey, Mr. President, we have a very small margin. They want to take us out. Here's what we have to get done, and we got to block them at every turn. Or it's the other party, and they come in and say, you're getting nothing unless you give me this, and I will stop every appointment. I won't even let you get a cabinet. Do you believe that you can get past what we've seen? These guys are pros at making nothing happen.
I did it, Chris. And like, look, you say New Jersey with all due respect, but let's face it, it's one of the toughest, sharp-elbowed states in the country. And I was dealing with another party that was very upset that I defeated their incumbent governor. But look, it takes some time. You get in there and you start to develop relationships with these folks. And when they say they want to trade for something, it depends on what they want to trade for. There are some trades that I'll be absolutely willing to make in order to move my agenda forward. There's others that I won't be. But you've got to sit down and start to engage in that conversation. And they need to know that they have a president now who will listen and is not afraid to use the bully pulpit to try to move their position by moving public opinion. You know, the last time this worked very well, Chris, was the last time that we had a conservative governor be elected president from a blue state. When Ronald Reagan was elected from the blue state of California, he came in and dealt with some of the biggest issues that our country has seen, dealing with the Soviet Union and bringing peace and victory to the United States in our conflict with the Soviet Union and their satellite states. He dealt with the issue of Social Security, and the fix that he put into place has kept it going right through to where we stand today. And he also dealt with immigration when he was the new president. Those are the kind of issues that I want to deal with. And only a blue state governor, you know, who's conservative, has the experience to be able to do that. Reagan did it, and that's exactly the course I'm going to follow.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, And you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.